serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The 76ers will be without star center Joel Embiid at least the next 4 weeks as he recovers from a procedure on his left meniscus injury. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting the belief in Philadelphia does remain. The door is not closed on a possible return in the regular season for the reigning NBA MVP. With Thursday's NBA trade deadline looming, LeBron James says questions whether the Lakers need changes in order to compete for a title aren't for him. LA, though, does have a wish list, explains ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They need a guy who can maybe defend and shoot in the perimeter. By the way, half the NBA is looking for that type of player. What do they have to do to get that player? They have one first-round pick that they can trade in 2029. LeBron will be retired, I think. AD past his prime. They got to be real careful giving away that pick unprotected.
The Lakers are currently 9th in the Western Conference. Lefty Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers agreed on a new contract, deal structure unknown. He's out at least the first half of the season, recovering from shoulder surgery. The Blackhawks will host the Blues in the 2025 NHL Winter Classic at Wrigley Field.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Kennedy. Coming up Wednesday, if the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl, I'll tell you why their season will be considered a failure. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muse. And Mr. Toby Tumpley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. National Signing Day, less than 24 hours away. Shea Dixon in an hour. Scott Shanle next hour. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, the soap opera that the New Orleans Saints continues as the world turns like sand through the hourglass of time. These are the days of our lives. You all remember Michael Thomas tweeting during the NFC Championship game, Derek Carr threw a bad ball that got him hurt. Nobody wants to be the Saints offensive coordinator. Basically crapping on the organization, on Dennis Allen, on Derek Carr, etc. And we all looked at that and were like, okay, well, that's a guy who doesn't fear any retribution whatsoever. There is no threat of consequence. He's got one foot out the door, and it certainly feels that way. But until this point, in the week and a half since, we hadn't heard anything from Derek Carr about Michael Thomas's comments. That is, until this weekend. This just popped on my radar, but over the weekend, Derek Carr went on something called 2 G's in a Pod with Amber Theoharis and James Jones. Now, James Jones was a teammate of Derek Carr's, and Amber Theoharis is someone I candidly have never heard of, but has 250,000 Twitter followers and does a lot of stuff surrounding the NFL. So forgive me for not being familiar with the show, but apparently they do a show and do well. Derek Carr was on this podcast, and they asked Derek Carr about Michael Thomas's tweets, in particular the part about Derek Carr throwing the bad ball that got Michael Thomas hurt. And instead of saying less or saying nothing, Derek Carr gave a 2+ minute answer where he did the thing Derek Carr does all the time, where he doesn't just downplay something or completely take blame and move on. He does this sort of passive, aggressive, denial, blame game type thing. Just listen.
I will start with saying this. I love Mike T. I really do. I love him. I think when I came in, I don't know how many years it's been, where he's gotten hurt and didn't finish the year, but there was a lot of frustration there. There's a lot of frustration that he had to deal with and answering questions and all the kind of, and I could see how that could wear on you.
Wait,
right?
pause.
So that when it happens again.
All right. I love Mike Thomas. I love Mike T. All the frustration. I love Mike T. Guy, it wears on you. Okay, keep going.
And goodness, that is probably hard on the head, on the head and on the heart. You're like, gosh, dang it. And I don't even know exactly when it happened, but it probably wasn't the best ball. And I'm being completely honest. James knows. James played with me. I'm not going to throw a perfect ball 100 out of 100 times.
Okay. Guys, probably wasn't a perfect ball. I'm not going to be perfect 100 out of 100 times. Guy probably wasn't a perfect ball, the one that got him hurt. Keep going.
I probably didn't throw the best ball, but if that's how he wants to view it and how he wants to see it, completely fine by me. And I understand also that when I came in the building, we have Chris Olave, who they were trying to train to be the number one guy.
Okay. Now here we go. Buckle up. I understand. Gosh dang it, he's been such a good player, and now he's hurt, and gosh dog, and I probably didn't throw a good ball. But now they got Chris Olave, who they're training to be the number one guy. Here comes the shots at Michael Thomas.
So all of a sudden, every rep and every read in practice is Chris first. And as a superstar that Mike is and what he has been, I can understand you're dealing with all the injury noise. You're dealing with now Chris has become a guy, and he loves Chris. That's his guy, Ohio State, all that. But I can understand where the frustration begins to build. I can understand where all those things begin to take place. But, there was times during the season where he'd be frustrated or this or that, and I wouldn't, tweet about it. I would just call him.
Okay. No, look. He was frustrated in the season, but I didn't. Love Mike. Great guy. Superstar. And I probably didn't throw a great ball. My fault. But I get it because, Chris Olave is really the guy now. And look, there were times during the year where I was upset with him, but I didn't tweet about it. I just called him like a man. Keep going.
And I'd just be like, look, bro, this is what it is, bro. We're grown men. We can talk about anything. And every time that, I went on there and, talked to him, there was times where I, went at him and confronted him about something and said something. And he probably over time with all the frustration grew to not liking that. But I've always just tried to tell the truth in love. And sometimes people don't like it,
I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy. I'm telling the truth in love. Look, he didn't. Now Derek Carr's speaking for Michael Thomas. I just tell him the truth, and he didn't like that. Truth in love. I'm the good guy. Keep going.
Mike finds what he's looking for. I hope he gets everything he wants in life because I do love Mike. But at that moment, I didn't really like it. I was like, you just call me, bro. To say this, to say all these things, I felt like it was like we're doing some middle school thing, man. Just talk to me. And Mike was great about talking to me.
What do you think you just did? Feels like some middle school thing. The thing you're doing right now is the middle school thing. If you didn't like Michael Thomas's tweets, then call him and tell him you don't like him. Don't go on the 2 G's in a Pod show with James Jones and Amber Theo Harris and basically say, well, that's the middle school stuff. You're doing the middle school stuff. Is he serious? This is what he did with the Falcons game. There's a horrible interception. Play this. Horrible interception at the goal line. Awful read. Terrible. Your fault. You blew it. Here was the post game.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, he was playing one single high, and he left his responsibility. You don't expect him to do that. You don't plan on that for that route. Thought she made a good decision, but Bates a good player, and he made a great play.
No, you screwed up. Eric McCoy. Remember when Derek Carr and Eric McCoy, they're fighting on the field with each other after the game? Here was Derek Carr after the game.
Me and Eric have no issue. In the moment, something happened The reason doesn't matter. Everyone wants to know the reason. Everybody wants to know the why and what. It doesn't matter. We were both right. We were both wrong.
Stop! No! You're not both right, both wrong. Because all you did now was further piss off Eric McCoy. You minimized his reasoning. You said you were right. No! Say less. The guy can't get out of his own way. Do you want to know how you handle this? Let me not just yell. Let me tell you exactly how you handle this. Derek Carr goes on 2 G's in a pod with James Jones and Amber Theo Harris. And they bring up Michael Thomas's tweets about Derek Carr setting him up with a bad ball, and that's why he's injured. Here's how you answer it. Ready? Yeah, I did see it on Twitter. Mike and I, we talk plenty, and I know he had a lot of frustration around his injury, but he's been a great teammate. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest receiver I've ever played with, and he's been a great guy in our locker room as well. Anything that might come of that, he and I have talked about it already, so we'll put it behind us and be better for it. Done! Over! 20 seconds! Nipped it in the bud, never to be talked about again. Instead, Derek Carr goes on a 2.5-minute rambling rant where is passive aggressiveness, where he's taking shots at Michael Thomas for not being the number one anymore and saying it's some middle school stuff and why not just talk to me? Let me put it to you this way. And it doesn't matter how you feel if he's right or wrong or Thomas should or should have done it. Michael Thomas shouldn't have done it. And he's not going to be back with the organization, we know. But let me ask you this question. Could you have ever seen a scenario where Drew Brees would have done that? Think about that. Leader of the organization. Could you ever have imagined a scenario where Drew Brees would have gone on a podcast and for 2.5 minutes aired the dirty laundry between he and a teammate and insulted that teammate? Can you imagine that scenario? I can't. Joe Burrow spent the first 2 years of his career getting the crap kicked out of him. His knee blew up. Every time they'd bring up his offensive line, all he did was praise him. Patrick Mahomes this year, his receivers led the NFL in drops. Patrick Mahomes was asked about his receivers leading the NFL in drops this year. And you know what he said? He completely downplayed the entire thing. Took his affiliation of the blame, his part of the blame, saying he could have thrown better balls. And he said, quote, "It's part of football. It's been part of us for this year, but I trust the guys. I know how hard they're working at it." That's what a leader does. You don't go call out your guys in public. How are you ever going to get them to trust you? Why doesn't this guy get it, man? And when you're at this point of your career, you're never going to get it. God. I should have that song ready. Never gonna get it, 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 whoop, 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 never. Y'all want to sing with me? Anybody? No? Anybody? We're good?
I don't know the words, Matt. I don't really know them.
The best part was actually from In Living Color. When Jamie Foxx was Wanda, the ugly girl. Anyway, woo, 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 woo. If you remember Living Color, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, my point is, man, Derek Carr is a 10-year veteran, and to be going on the 2 G's in a pod show with James Jones and Amber Theo Harris and talking about Michael Thomas's tweets for 2.5 minutes, insulting Michael Thomas and calling him like some middle school stuff for going onto Twitter about it, you're no better. You are no better than Michael Thomas because you did the exact same thing. Instead of just saying, I love Mike, great player, great teammate, I'm sure he and I will talk when we're back in the building. That's all you had to say, and it's over forever. Instead, you made it worse because that's what Derek Carr does. He's incapable of just shouldering the blame and letting it go. It's like he'll start down the path, and then he'll do an about face. Just incapable, man. Unfortunate. I don't know how do you win a locker room, man? How do you win your locker room? How do you win favor with your teammates? How do you get this right? He's just incapable, man. He's just not capable of doing it. All right. Now, Scott Shanley's with us in an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to ask him that question point blank. All right, it's after further review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. Hey, remember, this weekend, you got Mardi Gras parades. You got, of course, Spanish Town downtown. And you got the Super Bowl on Sunday. And our friends over at Mockler, they're sponsoring a Safe Ride weekend to get people home from the parade Saturday and from the game on Sunday. I'll give you more specifics on how you can, but essentially, Mockler is going to be sponsoring the Safe Ride program to make sure that you get home safely this weekend from the parades on Saturday and from the Super Bowl on Sunday. So drink easy, drink responsibly, and, of course, enjoy an ice-cold Bud Light. Drink easy with the official beer of AFR, Bud Light. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. One former LSU Tiger has made his transfer destination known. Got some thoughts on it. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. You know what to do. You can give them a buzz. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. Always love sharing these 5-star Google reviews. And the reason I love sharing them is because it's real testimonials of people just like you and me that have called River City's 1 Hour Air and had an amazing experience. Catherine W. sent this one. Michael, the technician, was very thorough, answered all of our concerns. Wonderful person to have in your employment. Another 5-star Google review for River City's 1 Hour Air. I'm telling you, when you call River City's 1 Hour Air and they have a technician coming to your house, you get a phone call, an email, and a text message alerting you. They give you the name of the technician, a picture of that technician, and reviews of that technician's work so you know exactly who's coming into your home. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
the best kept.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. She's always staring at me while I'm chugging along.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Are you playing that because Toby Keith passed away?
No, this isn't Toby Keith, but Rip
Oh,
Toby
it's not?
Keith.
I thought this was Toby Keith.
No, this is Kenny Chesney.
Oh, I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I really did mess that up. Sorry. You know I don't know country music.
Yeah.
But I really thought that was him. I thought we were kind of doing a little tribute today.
No. This is. I mean, we could, but this is.
Wait, so Kenny Chesney. All right, I confused the two of them. I really confused the two of them.
Oh, okay. I mean, one of them's from Oklahoma, the other's from Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
well, rip to Toby Keith.
For sure.
I
man.
saw that this morning that he died. What's he sing? What's his famous thing?
Oh, God, there's a lot. And now you put me on the spot.
Oh, really? Sounds great.
Well,
yeah,
no
doubt.
I mean, I Love This Bar. That's a great one.
Don't know that one.
God Lover. That's a great
Don't
one.
know that.
Whiskey Girl. That's fantastic.
I mean, these cannot be his most famous song.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. How Do You Like Me Now? That's a good one. I want to talk about me.
I don't know that.
I want to talk about me. Want to talk about you know that. You've heard that. You've heard that for sure.
I know the other one you just said.
I don't remember what I said.
How Do You Like Me Now?
Yes, that's one for sure. My favorite one is Should Have Been a Cowboy. Favorite Toby Keith song. It's a great one.
Don't know that one.
Fear for My Horses. A lot of good ones, man.
See, I think we're getting to the bottom of why I might have messed this up. So,
okay.
I like this one, though, Muse.
This is a good one.
Shout out, Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. By the way, big shout out. If you are going to be at Mardi Gras in Covington, Will Campbell, Mason Taylor, Jacoby and Guillory are all They're all riding on the John Deere float with Sunshine.
That's strong.
So the North Shore. Going to be Mardi Gras Day on the North Shore. Be on the lookout for the Sunshine float. You'll see some LSU Tigers on that float. Look forward to it. All right. It's Kenny Chesney.
Correct. Yes, Kenny Chesney.
Who, as I understand, is still very much alive.
He is still very much alive.
You let me know if I messed that up.
I will.
I think we've inadvertently killed people here before. We've talked about people. Didn't he die? No, he didn't die. But rest in peace, Toby Keith. I know there's a lot of people who are country music fans. Mostly I know this because my office is right next door to Jimmy Brooks, who is the program director of 100.7 The Tiger. And he and Brittany Rose, they were all in and out, like they're running promos and day-long tributes. And I was hearing that all day today, like all the liners and everything that they're running. So anyway. Real quick. I know some people talked about this. I think Wilson tweeted it yesterday, but there's more staff changes to LSU. We talked about this on the air 2 weeks ago. I guess it was longer than 2 weeks ago because it was when Blake Baker got hired. He kind of had autonomy to let people go, and he did. So John Jancic and John McDonald, Terry Malone, guys that had been analysts. As I understand it, one of the only analysts on the defensive side that kept his job was Zach Jancic, John Jancic's son. So it's kind of like a one-for-one type deal. I don't know all the particulars of it. But in any event, this isn't – I guess it may be hell, we talked about this on air. But anyway, Wilson tweeted it. So John Jancic, as he put Terry Malone, John McDonald out. And if you go check the LSU directory, the staff directory, Austin Thomas is now on the staff directory as well, even though LSU has not formally announced his hiring. I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand why the delay in the formal announcements from LSU. And I'll continue to reiterate this, but Brian Kelly's been here for basically 2 calendar years. So a lot of this stuff we're still experiencing like for the first time with Brian Kelly. There's just a lot of firsts, how he manages certain situations. I have no idea why they've waited so long. They did wait so long to announce the hirings once they were hired. I don't know why, they still haven't announced the Austin Thomas hiring, although he's on the LSU staff directory now if you go to lsusports.net. But it's their prerogative. Now, Brian Kelly will be meeting with reporters on Wednesday. So Wednesday is National Signing Day. Shea's going to be here in 36 minutes from right now, and we'll kind of give a preview for signing day. But Brian Kelly is set to meet with reporters. We basically know it shouldn't be a super eventful day. Dominic McKinley, the defensive lineman out of Acadiana, will sign, and we're waiting on word out of Terry Bussey. So that's it for LSU really on signing day. But so Brian Kelly will meet with reporters at noon, and maybe he'll talk about the staff as well whenever he's when he meets with reporters at noon on Wednesday. All right, it's after further review. We are glad to have you aboard with us here. Got to talk about one of the former Tigers who's announced their destinations. We'll get to that in a second. We're brought to you by Traction, TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. Remember, next week, y'all, is Mardi Gras. Next week's Mardi Gras. So if your son or daughter's out of school and you're going to be hanging around, remember, next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Traction has Mardi Gras baseball camp and Mardi Gras speed camps, full and half-day options available. So go to TractionSports.com. That's TractionSports.com. Full and half-day options, baseball and speed camps. You want your son or daughter to get better while they're out of school, Traction can help. TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. Got word that former LSU cornerback Denver Harris has his new transfer destination, and looks like he'll be headed to UTSA. That's Texas San Antonio. He's now made that commitment, and it's where he'll continue his college career. You wish Denver Harris well. Of course, everyone knows the story there is from the Houston area. Played his freshman year at Texas A&M. Kind of a knucklehead, gotten some off-the-field issues, entered the portal, came to LSU. Didn't really work out this year for Denver Harris, went back in the portal, and now he'll finish up his college career, or he'll extend, I should say, his college career at UTSA. Hopefully he stays healthy and has an opportunity to get on the field and play, because it's really what he needs at this point. But I think, if anything, the Denver Harris situation is evidence that the scouting services don't always get it right. And, he was a 5-star. I know there was a lot of people who were very excited about the prospects that Denver Harris had. And I was one of them as well. I mean, when you sign a 5-star, you think, man, this guy's going to be a great improvement in talent at a position of need. And it just didn't work out for Denver Harris here. But the thing is, Brian Kelly, as the season went along, tried to tell you this. And we tried to tell you this as well. There were a lot of you that were not happy with me, but we talked during fall camp, and Denver Harris was running with the 3s, and I pretty consistently came here with my notes, and a lot of you pushed back and said, oh, no, they're just making him earn it. No, they weren't making him earn it. He couldn't play. And Brian Kelly, can you play number 2? This was the beginning of the season. Brian Kelly started to kind of tell you the story with Denver Harris.
Denver is in that process of learning how to do things a little bit differently than he had been doing it before. So it's becoming, clear to him what he needs to do on a day-to-day basis to find the field here. And look, he's got a lot of ability, but it's more in this program than just having athletic ability. He's got to do the work in the classroom. He's got to do the work, in terms of the day-to-day details and making good choices, good decisions, and he's making progress there. But, it's a journey for him right now.
It's more than just athletic ability. It's the process. It's details. It's a journey for him. I mean, Brian Kelly tried to tell you that. He tried to tell you. Most people didn't want to hear it. But, it's one of those things where when you look at the scouting services, we always just assume a 5-star recruit is going to hit. And I know there's a higher hit rate with 5 stars than others, but it's not it's not a guarantee. Just pick a year. I'm going to go to the composite from 2017. I'm just randomly picking a year. If this loads, I'm just getting a circle wheel. Here we go. Let's look at these are the 5 stars from 2017 in the composite. Jalen Phillips, who went to UCLA. I tell you, you jump on the mic. I want to, Paulie, you can as well. Tell me if we think these 5 stars were hits or not. Jalen Phillips, UCLA, number 1 player in the country.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Number one player in the country. Najee Harris. That was a hit. Alex Leatherwood. Became a starter. Yeah. Cam Akers.
Sure.
Marvin Wilson at Florida State. Big defensive lineman. Had a nice career.
Yeah.
Jeff Okudah became a top 10 pick.
That's a hit.
Foster Sarrell.
Yeah, going to go with a no. A miss.
Offensive lineman that went to Stanford. Joshua Kando.
I don't know that guy.
Edge rusher, went to Florida State, the number 8 player in the country. Sean Wade. I think he's probably most known because during COVID, his dad was the one who was kind of stumping for them to play. But he's in the NFL. Trey Smith at Tennessee was a great player. He just dealt with the blood clots and it kind of
out of his control a little bit. Yeah.
Isaiah Wilson at Georgia.
Okay. Yeah.
Dylan Moses was the number 12 player in the country. Dealt with a lot of injuries during his time at Bama, but the number 13 player was Walker Little, an offensive tackle that went to Stanford. Chase Young was the 14th best player in the country.
He was pretty good. I'd say they got that one right. Yeah.
One spot ahead of Baron Browning.
No.
I guess Donovan Peoples-Jones, Richard LeCount, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, LeBron Ray, Jacoby Stevens, 5-star number 21.
Hey.
Davis Mills. Davis Mills was a 5. Stanford had 3 5-stars.
Not Davis. Not that Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. Stanford had a quarterback and 2 tackles, 3 5-stars in the top 22. Hunter Johnson, 5-star quarterback that went to Clemson.
What?
AJ Epinesa. Kalen LeBourne, 5-star that went to Florida State. Running back. Yep.
Nope. Got nothing for you.
Darnay Holmes, 5-star cornerback that went to UCLA. Calvin Ashley, 5-star offensive tackle and went to Auburn. Another 5-star, Colby Parkinson, 5-star tight end went to Stanford. Did 4 or 5? What happened to Stanford?
Wait a minute. Are we sure this is accurate? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm dead serious. 4 or 5 stars for Stanford. Quarterback, 2 tackles, and a tight end. Why did they stink?
They should have had one of the best offenses ever.
My God. Wyatt Davis, Aubrey Solomon, who is probably most well remembered for signing day when he committed to the University of Miami and put on a Michigan hat. But he was committing to Michigan, but said Miami anyway. Jedrick Wills, Tua. Tua was the number 32 player in the country.
That worked.
And that's it. He was the lowest rated of the 5-stars. But you get my point? Like, just because you got a 5-star, yeah, you might get Tua. You might get Chase Young. You might get Darnay Holmes or Kalen LeBourne. You got Kalen LeBourne. That's what happened. I mean, Denver Harris was more... He was more Foster Sarrell and less Jeff Okudah. Put it to you that way. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. Wish him well, though, man. Like, I hope he does well. I hope he finds his way athletically and at UTSA and gets on the field and becomes a great player and lives up to all the potential he has. But for everybody who was sitting there last year saying, they're making him earn it, like, because that's what a lot of you, I mean, I tried to tell him, kids couldn't play. The staff knew he couldn't play. He just played press man, and it was a problem. And then he went out and played press man against Grambling and was getting mossed. It was just, they missed, man. They just missed. They missed on everybody in that secondary last year. So, see them turn it around this year. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Tuesday shows powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC. Don't move.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO. GlowResources.com. That's GlowResources.com. Love telling you about Glow Resources because they are complete employer solutions. Every day when we talk about this, it's so interesting to hear from business owners who this message resonates because really since COVID, this message should hit every business owner. How difficult it has been trying to hire since COVID, to find qualified people for the jobs you need, people who want to work, who can work. Glow Resources helps you get to that best end game. It's not a guessing game with Glow Resources. They have a 93% retention rate with their employees. So when you hire Glow Resources to find that right person for your job, skilled blue collar and their white collar division, they're going to get it right the first time. It's Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. Glow Resources and glowresources.com.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there.
She ain't a fooling me. She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. She's always staring at me.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
So we've gotten pushback on Jalen Phillips because he's starting for the Dolphins. I just don't remember Jalen Phillips' college career at all. Do you?
No.
That was kind of the point. Look, clearly was a first-round pick and is starting for the Dolphins. I just don't remember Jalen Phillips' college career at UCLA. Maybe it's because he played at UCLA.
That could potentially be.
He didn't transfer to Miami.
Okay.
Started
See,
UCLA
I
and transferred
really
to
feel
Miami.
like I should remember him then. But
Well, his last year was the COVID year. His last season was the COVID
okay.
season.
If we're being, I've blocked a lot of that season out of my memory. I'll retract it, sure. Jalen Phillips.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
we
he's a
both
hit.
like, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he's a hit.
Okay. When you talk about the number one play, Brian Brzee was the number one player in the country. Became a first-round pick, starting for the Saints. But his college career wasn't what you would have assumed. Now, it was a lot of things. It was injury, personal tragedy. But point being, the point of the segment, if you're just joining us, was Denver Harris was a 5-star, and he was a miss by the scouting services. And we just I randomly picked a year. We went through all the 5-stars and illustrated there's a lot of misses. But Jalen Phillips was a First-round pick.
A lot of misses, especially at Stanford.
That's crazy.
We learned that.
He had 4 5 stars. Stanford. That's you know what I got. I got my what we learned today, Muse. I'm writing it right now. We're doing what we learned at the end of the show today. Stanford's 2017 class was awesome, and man, how did they stink? 5-star quarterback, 2 5-star offensive linemen, and a 5-star tight end in one class. They stink. Okay, Will Wade getting a 5-year extension at McNeese. How about it? Cowboys 20-3 overall. They're 9-1 in the Southland this year. Willie Wade's going to make $700K in his new deal. Then it'll escalate to 1.25. And then, wait, it says. No, I'm sorry. That's his buyout. Forgive me, his buyout. So Will's going to make $700K. The buyout is 1.25, then $1 million. I think Will Wade won't coach another year of this contract, to be perfectly honest with you. I think Will Wade's gone from McNeese after this year. There will be I've heard rumblings there have already been Power 5 schools interested in him. And the fascinating thing is Will Wade was just a couple of years ahead of his time. And he's shown that he knows how to effectively recruit in an NIL era. So, and he could certainly coach, as we know. But imagine this scenario. So a lot of the scuttle around college basketball. Do you know one of the biggest names is that's kind of being whispered about in circles about potentially being a big name to jump ship?
The coaching circles? Oh, who's that?
Nate Oates.
Oh, see ya.
There's a lot of scuttle about Nate Oates jumping. Like the one that I hear most commonly is Michigan. Is that if Nate Oates ends up in Michigan. Again, just it's all hearsay. I mean, it's total hearsay. But me and those Michigan jobs, Muse, I tell you what. There we go.
So Nate Oates to Michigan, that's we're good there? Or
let's not walk down that path again, okay? I don't need to explain.
You brought it up.
I know I did. I'm so sorry that I just brought that up. It reminded people how stupid some people on the internet are. It was never a prediction. Oh my God. Anyway. But what if, how about this was the hypothetical I was going to play. Again, hey, this is a hypothetical. Not reporting anything. Were we clear?
I mean, I understand.
Totally hypothetical. In a hypothetical scenario, what if Nate Oates leaves Michigan? Hypothetically, and Will Wade, hypothetically, under this hypothetical, went to Alabama.
I would hate that.
Was there
so
any
much.
place that Will had more animosity than when he was at LSU than Alabama? I mean, he and Nate Oates, I got into. Remember the end of the SEC tournament?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, when Nate Oates refused to shake his hand, like, wouldn't that be something? If Will hypothetically ended up at Alabama?
Yeah, that would be something, and it would not be something that I would enjoy.
I know, I'd hate that too. That would be poop. It would be poop. Poop mouth. Poop. All right. It's after further review. We'll go around the SEC here in a sec. We're brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 58. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Y'all, the Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday. You're going to want to bet. I read today where roughly a quarter of American adults are expected to wager on the Super Bowl. Don't be part of the 3/4 of America that don't have fun in your life. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge. Make a $5 bet on the Super Bowl, any $5 bet on the Super Bowl, and they'll give you 200 in bonus bets instantly. Everyone can take advantage of same-game parlays on the Super Bowl. More legs you add, the more money you can win. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and have some fun. By the way, I got the Otter last night. Bing, bang, boom. 3-0 for the Otter last night. Why aren't you playing along with Otter Locks? Get in the game with DraftKings, official sports betting partner, Super Bowl 58. The crown is yours.
21 plus, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537.
I sound out of breath there. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Alabama Crimson Tide
Forward Nick Pringle will be available to play on Wednesday night against Auburn. He's missed the last 2 games with suspension. Alabama plays at Auburn on Wednesday. Pringle will be with the team, but Nate Oates said he's making no promises regarding playing time.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas senior guard Devontae Davis, better known as Devo, he's back with the Razorbacks basketball team. Davis last played in a loss to Ole Miss in Oxford on January the 24th due to coach's decision. Prior to the Kentucky game, Davis had played in all 19 games this season and had started 18 of them. Davis averaging 6 and 4 for the Hogs.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Vandy landed a commitment Sunday from 3-star defensive lineman Nikhil Jefferson, 6'2", 300-pounder from Tampa. Also had offers from Louisville, Rutgers, and West Virginia. The number 202 defensive lineman in the country. Jefferson, the lone player expected to sign during the late signing period Wednesday.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Wide receiver Quentin Smith out of Ohio has committed to Kentucky for the class of 2025, the second 2025 commit. He's a 6', 175-pounder. Pick Kentucky over West Virginia. Penn State, Michigan, Syracuse, and Cincinnati. He's the number 156 overall prospect, the 15th best receiver.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
And a big blow for Mike Bianco's squad. Senior pitcher Xavier Rivas will miss the 2024 season with an elbow injury. Tore his UCL. He'll have Tommy John and miss the 2024 season. The 6'4", 225-pounder was expected to be a weekend starter for Ole Miss. He was 4th in the league in strikeouts last year, 10th in innings pitched. Ole Miss was just 6 and 24 in the league a year ago. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We are glad to have you aboard with us here. We'll knock out a quick break and wrap up hour number 1. Shea Dixon in 15 minutes. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. 2 amazing hotel properties. The Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. I want to keep reminding you, it is parade season, and this weekend, if you're going to be downtown for the Spanish Town Parade, make sure you pop into the Watermark Hotel. I know I tell you all the time about the Gregory, but it's not just the Gregory. It's also Milford's on 3rd. The Gregory is more upscale dining. Milford's on 3rd is casual sandwich shop, which you can access, obviously, from 3rd Street. But either way, if you're going to be downtown for the parades, make sure you check out the Watermark Hotel, which I've been telling you about. Pop on into the lobby, have a cocktail, a glass of wine. If you're there in the morning, get yourself a Bloody Mary. But there's always something going on, and it's always a great opportunity to pop on into the Watermark Hotel in downtown Baton Rouge for the Gregory or Milford's on 3rd.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number 1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Mike M. via the text line said Toby Keith's most famous song is Red Solo Cup. That can't be his most famous song because I don't know that. I don't know that.
There's no way that's his most famous song.
I don't know that song at all.
That song was bad, actually.
It can't be his most famous. And then Austin said, Matt, this was in reference to the open of the show today when we talked about Derek Carr, who went on some podcast and went on a 2.5-minute diatribe. I shouldn't call it a diatribe, but for 2.5 minutes spoke about the Michael Thomas tweet situation and basically called him a junior high, middle school stuff. Excuse me. And I said, say less. Just say less. Austin M. said, Matt, sounds like you're giving marriage advice to men on how to handle an argument. Say less. Yes. Say less. Why is this hard? Just say less. Just say less. Say less. It's going to work out for you if you just say less. All right. It's after further review. You can always email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Last night, Pels were at home against the Raptors, and my goodness, was it emphatic. The Pels blow the doors off of Toronto, sending them back to Canada, back to the land from whence you came, Canada, where they play hockey, and have maple syrup and Mounties and whatnot. 138-100. Didn't even need to play the starters in the fourth quarter. That's mostly because Brandon Ingram went absolutely ape last night. 41 points, and he punctuated the third quarter with not one.
Latter stages of the third quarter here. Ingram right at the top. Just pop a wide open three. Why not, Brandon Ingram?
Not two.
Ingram stop, pop, straight away three. Yes!
BXI. Brandon Xavier Ingram.
32 for Ingram, 5 made threes. Pels up 96-64.
Not three.
Now Alvarado splits defenders, hangs in the air to Dyson, back to B.I., fly by, left wing three.
Oh, cook him, B.I.
He's cooking.
Not four.
Why not? Get some more, B.I. Season high's 40. Get some more.
He checked. He checked.
Deep three from Metry.
How about 5 straight possessions with a three-pointer for B.I.? Take it away, Graf and JD.
One more bucket gives him 40, which would tie his season high. It's 102-69.
Well, you're going to have to set a screen to get him open.
Ingram left wing for three. There it is!
Brandon Ingram doing the Lord's work out here. Working him over. Baptizing him.
Season high 8 threes, season high 41 points for B.I.
Baptize the B.I. 5 it. Come on, Muse.
Brandon Ingram doing the Lord's work out here, working them over, baptizing them.
Oh. Baptize! I'm not going to pour this all over me, Muse. Oh, maybe I love my
Baptizing them.
This is a mess. This is a mess. Somebody put out a call to our good friends at Mockler. I need a new koozie and a new women's national championship bottle. That'll pay BI. Pelly's win. Shea Dixon next.
AFR.
As we put a button here on hour number 1, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels. How about that? If you can't get a baptism from the Lord, the next best thing would be a beautiful diamond from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is 8 days away. Don't you screw it up. Don't you screw it up. Lee Michaels can help. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, 10 locations in all. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. Gorgeous diamonds. Every single diamond before it goes into the case is hand inspected by a family member. Every diamond comes from one of the finest diamond mines in the world. Our friend Mr. Scott Berg goes overseas every single year, goes to India on a sourcing expedition where he goes and buys the finest diamonds he can find. And because he's buying for 10 stores, he gets great prices that they pass on to you. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where you always get the Lee Michaels experience. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. 76ers center, reigning NBA MVP Joel Embiid underwent a procedure today on his left meniscus injury. He'll miss at least 4 weeks. Sources tell ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski there's still a belief the door is not closed on the possibility Embiid returns in the regular season. ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
Even if he comes back, he's still going to take time for the big fella to ramp things up. And then we're going to be going into April, the most crucial part of the NBA season, right into the play-in tournament, right into the postseason. High-level basketball. And with his history, I wouldn't chance it.
Phillies 5th in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta's Trae Young, Toronto's Scotty Barnes selected as injury replacements for the East roster for the NBA All-Star Game. Dodgers and lefty Clayton Kershaw agreed on a 1-year contract, keeping him with the only organization he's ever pitched for. He is, though, out at least the first half of his 17th Major League Baseball season, recovering from off-season shoulder surgery. Oilers tonight go for an NHL record-tying 17th straight win when they take on the Golden Knights, 10 Eastern, ESPN+.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, if the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl, I'll tell you why their season will be considered a failure. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Lee Feinswog will talk some beer in about 15 minutes. Scott Shanle, bottom of this hour, talking some Super Bowl. Of course, Super Bowl champion with the New Orleans Saints. Looking forward to having Scott on as always. Wednesday, National Signing Day. The traditional February signing date. Not going to be eventful as far as numbers for LSU, but could be an eventful day nonetheless. Shea Dixon, our buddy from On 3, the Bengal Tiger, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here to talk about it. Shea, always appreciate you, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
Awesome. So Dominic McKinley's going to sign, and we're waiting on word from Terry Bussey. Can you catch us up and give us the absolute latest there with Bussey?
Yes. So Bussey is the only guy left that they're really after. As you noted, Dominic McKinley is committed. He didn't take any other visits. He's expected to sign tomorrow, and they already have 28 signees from December. McKinley would make 29. So Terry Bussey, the last guy left, and the skinny on him to catch up would be that he was always considered an A&M lean. He's committed to Texas A&M in September after taking visits to LSU and Alabama. Stayed committed through Jimbo Fisher's firing, stayed committed through the coaching staff changes there, but did not sign in December. And a number of guys did sign with A&M in December, despite all the shuffle in College Station. He wasn't one of them. He said, I'll wait till February. And then this past really week and a half, he did a Georgia visit, then a midweek visit to LSU, and then he wrapped things up this past weekend before the dead period hit with another visit to A&M. So 24 hours out, I would honestly say a couple of staffs are still feeling like they've really got a shot here. And I would point to LSU and A&M as being the two that A&M feels like, hey, some cautious optimism, they're going to hold on to them, and LSU feels like they've done enough at this point to not only put themselves in the mix, but, you know, according to some sources you speak with, maybe even hold a little bit of an edge going into this final night before signing day when he has to come to some sort of, final decision and sign tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Shea, does To the best of your knowledge, do you know if Terry Bussey's already made up his mind and is just holding on announcing, or is this something where he might literally make his decision here in the next 18 hours?
It's not unheard of, but again, we're talking about a kid who is already committed to A&M. So it's not like he's entering this one, weighing out a bunch of teams and where he should go. He, long before he committed to A&M, was considered an A&M lean. I think right now what LSU's battling is the familiarity with the program, the fact that he is committed there, the fact that it is a little bit closer to home to where he is than Timpson, and that's closer to his guardians, closer to his sister. And even with the turnover there, they still got some personnel members, some staff members that know Terry. So he's I think you're trying to buck that comfortability factor with the reality that LSU's pitching early playing time, development, that DBU moniker is something they're looking to work back towards. And you've got one of the architects back here now in Corey Raymond. So I think that helped boost their chances a bit. And this is a guy that, look, on the field, I think people put Frank Wilson up there as their best recruiter. Off the field, a lot of people would say that Sherman Wilson's one of the more recognizable figures, and both those guys have been pretty much spearheading Bussey's recruitment. So it's not a shock to see that LSU's giving him a lot to think about. And his midweek visit last week, Matt, I think is when they really dove into, look, you're the number one athlete in the country. You want to play DB. That's where people are recruiting you. Here's how you'd work at safety, at nickel, at corner. And I think that really jumped out at him and made him kind of say, hey, look, I do need to take a step back and really mull over my options before I go ahead and say, hey, look, I'm deciding on this school and I'm done with it. So in short, I do think that he may go into tonight and talk with his guardians and high school coaches and people he trusts, and LSU and A&M and Georgia's in the mix here, and then come to a final decision of, hey, I'm sticking with A&M or I am going to end up flipping. And LSU's been down this road before. They flipped 4 Texas A&M commitments already, so they took full advantage of Jimbo Fisher being fired. This would obviously be one that, in the opinion of most, was the toughest one, or would be the toughest one to pull off because he was always considered a heavy A&M lean even before he committed there.
So Terry Bussey, he'll make his announcement 9 a.m. Central Time on signing day?
Yes, it'll be at Timpson. He'll make his announcement again. Read into it how you want, but he's going to have an announcement with hats on the table when he's already committed to a team. And this isn't a kid who's on Twitter drumming up his recruitment. He's almost like a Javian Toviano who's committed to LSU out of Texas, but just keeps it to himself. And everyone else has to kind of read the tea leaves, and the staffs kind of have to just get a gut feel of where they sit until he finally tells them, hey, look, this is a final decision.
Shea, should I read anything into the fact that when I look at the recruiting prediction machine there at On 3, that there have been some analysts that have predicted a flip where, as I think last week it was 99% A&M. Now it's 75-20.
Yeah, I think that it's more so that he had made that other visit that counts into the formula.
Okay.
But at this point, no one's gone out there yet and said, hey, I'm predicting the flip and putting it in writing here. So if that comes, I think it's because he probably makes some calls tonight, and then maybe it starts to leak out of which staffs get told no or which staffs get told yes.
Okay. He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. You mentioned Corey Raymond being back, with the architects of DBU. It wasn't just Bussey. This past couple of weeks has been pretty impactful, Shea, from Bussey and DJ Pickett, and obviously they got the commitment from for
Jabari Antoine.
Antoine, thank you and then they got a visit as well from Dorian Brew. What can you tell us about that, Shea?
Yeah, you summed it up well. Those are kind of the who's who of cornerbacks that are out there. We've got Jabari Antoine coming out of Westgate, ranked as the number 3 corner in the country. So when you're talking about rebuilding that corner room with elite talent, that fits the bill. He's the number 2 player in Louisiana right now behind Harlem Berry, the running back, who's a 5-star number 1 running back in the country. So he's elite as can be. Then you look around, as you mentioned, he got DJ Pickett to campus. He's ranked as a 5-star number 1 safety, but they like him at corner, so he would be another. But they also have been kicking the tires with Devin Sanchez, who's out of the North Shore, is committed to Ohio State. Dorian Brew, you mentioned, was a guy who Ohio State has a commitment right now from not just Sanchez, number 2 corner in the country, but Naeem Alford committed to them this week out of Birmingham, Alabama. He's the number 1 corner in the country. So I think LSU is trying to say, hey, look, Dorian Brew, you're in Conroe, Texas. Yes, your mom ran track at Ohio State. They've been considered the leader, but his dad ran track at LSU. So Corey Raymond has tried to get back into that one quickly here, and getting him onto campus before the dead period was a really big deal for them. So that was something to take notice of. And look, there's a number of other guys he's reoffered. He's set visits up with in March and April. So I think we're going to quickly see, some dividends being paid beyond Jabari Antoine committing as they try to rebuild this corner room and get back to building pretty elite talent there.
Shea, as we move to the February signing date on Wednesday, and hopefully it's an eventful day for LSU with Terry Bussey, but either way, what are the other headlines or storylines that we're looking at, either for the conference nationally, something that could pop on signing day that's relevant to LSU, even if it's not a player committing to LSU?
Really, Bussey's one of the big ones left. When you look at the 5 stars out there and who remains unsigned, and yes, he is committed, but there aren't many uncommitted guys out there. In fact, the guys who have not signed with the school yet and are 5 stars would include Ryan Williams, who obviously was on board with Bama, backed off, got back off on board with Bama, and in that time he had reclassified. So there was a lot going on for him. And then it's Bussey. And other than that, Dominic McKinley is the only other 5-star who hasn't signed, and he's going to LSU. And he has, no bones about it, no other visits. So, again, I just glanced up and down our list of 5 stars, 32 of them now and on 3. Only 3 guys haven't signed yet. One of them being Terry Bussey, one of them being Dominic McKinley, who's going to sign with LSU, and then Ryan Williams signing with Bama. So just being in the mix here with the only guy who kind of you don't know where he's going for sure yet is certainly kind of momentum that they continue to build on the trail. And boy, that would be not for lack of effort if they miss out on Terry Bussey, but boy, what a huge addition he would be, because he can play anywhere in the secondary. And their pitch to him is, hey, look, come in, and if you continue to develop at the rate you had in high school, you'll be playing early next year. And that's not that's not a stretch. They were playing true freshmen in the secondary at safety and at corner this year. If you want to talk about the backups like Ryan Yates at safety, and then seeing starters at like Toviano and Stamps in them. So early playing time development, that's all what they're kind of pushing on Terry Bussey right now, is why he's such a big need.
Shea, before you go, after tomorrow, or after the signing period, we go into a dead period till March. Is that correct? So just remind me what the recruiting calendar is like after tomorrow.
So starting this past Monday, or gosh, it's only Tuesday. Signing day weeks can be long, even when there's not a lot going on. Starting yesterday, the dead period began. That means you can't see kids face to face. They can't come to campus. You can't go to their high school or whatever. And that lasts all the way until, I think it's like March 3rd or 5th. So about a month to where kind of coaches can reset and focus back on your roster. And you don't have to worry about, recruits coming through or having to go see guys or any of that. Doesn't mean they won't get any commits or, anything of that nature. We could see it happen. But that is the skinny, is that it will calm down a little bit. And look, I'll note kind of before we go here that On3 has LSU as the number 4 class in the country. And we'll see what happens with Bussey. The industry's got them as the number 7 class. There was a time back in July, Matt, that people were debating me and each other as fans if LSU could even crack the top 10. On3, they'll finish with back-to-back top 5 classes, and they've already got a commanding lead on the number 1 class for next year's cycle. So between all these hires they've made and now this new wave of defensive staff, I think that they're really settling into a groove with recruiting, and that's what LSU fans say. Hey, Brian Kelly, you take the job. One important thing is get us top 5 classes, and he's done that in back-to-back years, and then you start off that 2025 cycle with the number 1 class already in hand.
Shea Dixon, On3, the Bengal Tiger, on Twitter at Shea Dixon. All right, man. Appreciate it as always. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. It's after further review. Scott Shanle, bottom of this hour. We'll talk some beer with Feinswog, maybe a Super Bowl thought as well when we continue. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where they are, but I'll remind you here in a second. But it's more important, I think, for me to remind you today that this is the time to just plant something. They have some really beautiful spring flowers that love this cold weather. So it's a perfect time to get them into the ground, just plant something. and start adding that pop of color right now and moving toward the spring season. Also, they've got rose varieties right now, Weeks rose varieties. You can go to their social media. I tell you all the time you should follow Clegg's on Facebook, because every time they get a new shipment of something in, generally, like, they're going to post pictures of what they have. So if you're curious about what they have, like today on their Facebook, they posted this picture of just dozens and dozens and dozens of rose plants and rose bushes that are there that just came up today. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Hey, Lee, how are you, man?
Hi, Matt.
Who's winning the Super Bowl?
I'm good. Chiefs.
Why?
Did you pick yet?
No, but I mean, I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Why do you like the Chiefs?
I don't know. I watch both teams for the playoffs, and I just think the Chiefs they're better.
Yes.
Mostly because of Mahomes and Kelsey. The combination of those two reminds me of Brady and Gronk. And history has shown if you have all the rest of the pieces and you have a great tight end, not that San Francisco doesn't. And I love San Francisco's story and that team there, but it should be, by all accounts, should be a really good game.
You know what's funny about San Francisco? It feels like it's been
the football team or the city in general.
No, the Niners. So it's been 14 years since the Saints won the Super Bowl, It was 15 years before that since the Niners last won the Super Bowl. It's been damn near 30 years since San Francisco won the Super Bowl. Ha! Losers. That's all.
If you would think though that if you ask somebody name some of the great programs in NFL history, and you would probably think of the 49ers, but I hadn't thought about it in that context, that it's been that long since they won, because there was that stretch where there was that long stretch where they were so good every year with the great quarterbacks they kept running through there and all of that.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, you obviously had Bill Walsh and Joe Montana, and then George Seifert carried things on, and then Steve Young got the monkey off his back in 1994 when they blew out the Chargers, but that was the last time. The 94 season is the last time San Francisco won the Super Bowl. They've been to the Super Bowl twice since. The one in New Orleans where they lost the Ravens in 2012 season, and then the 2019 season where they lost to the Chiefs. So they've been a couple of times, but it's been a long time since the Niners won a Super Bowl, and I think that's hilarious because I hate San Francisco. The Niners, not the city. I think the city's fine, but the 49ers I hate.
Well, since we pseudo prepped for this, because we hardly, we're not fooling anybody that we don't normally, but we did talk a little bit. And
we have general directions that we go.
Memories. Yeah, Super Bowl memories. And I got to thinking about two in particular. I'm old enough to have watched not only the first one in 1967, which was the then Chiefs of the AFL against the Packers.
Yep.
And it was not even called the Super Bowl. It was just called the AFL NFL World Championship game. But here's the coolest thing of all, Matt. I was 13 years old, and
man, you're old.
My next door neighbor, Marty Simon, invited us over to their house to watch the Super Bowl. It's the first time I ever remember going to somebody else's house to watch a football game, like have a watch party, because the Simons had gotten a color TV. Matt, a color TV. The first time I ever saw a color TV was that first Super Bowl. And there was pomp and circumstance before that game. If you go back and even look some of the stuff on YouTube, it looked like that. It's all grainy. It looked like that probably in reality, but it was in color, and it was like awe-inspiring. It was like, oh my gosh, I remember the first time I ever saw an HD TV, and it cost like $10,000 in the mid '80s. Thinking, it would be so cool to be rich and own an HD TV, And I saw like a 60-inch strolling through Walmart yesterday, I think for $482 or something like that.
Sounds about right.
But that was my first Super Bowl memory. But here's what's amazing about that first Super Bowl was that the Chiefs had a great defensive star named Buck Buchanan. And he had a son, Bobby Buchanan, who I covered playing football and basketball in Kansas City in the from like 78 to 81 in that time when I worked there. And from that team, two guys who I later met because I came to Baton Rouge were Johnny Robinson from the Chiefs and Jimmy Taylor, who, of course, all because of coming here from that first Super Bowl. So that's and then my other big Super Bowl story was the 1987 Super Bowl, which was the one in which Doug Williams was so spectacular for the Washington Redskins. Remember, they scored 35 straight points, and he had like the greatest second quarter in the history. So my assignment that day for the Advocate was to go up to what I could basically call suburban Zachary and go to the Williams family home to see if anything was going on and watch the game up there. And I got there, and it was like a carnival. There were people setting up barbecues in the street, selling stuff. I had my first fried turkey neck that day, and everybody was there. His family, of course, was in the house, and people had TV sets set up outside, and lots of people were crammed in the house. And it turned out to be the greatest day to be a sports writer, because not only was the food great and the hospitality was great, it was so much fun, but Doug Williams, the whole reason why I went up there, it could not have been greater. I mean, it's one of, still to this day, I mean, very few quarterback performances in the history of the Super Bowl better than what he did that day. And that's my Super Bowl memories and tour down memory lane, because I know you love old guy stories before
Yeah.
he can give you a hard time about him.
And next week you're going to tell us what kind of guy Moses was, and we'll look forward to that. Do you think Will Wade is going to stay at McNeese after this season?
Moses couldn't throw to his left. That was his biggest problem when he was rolling out that way. But he was great straight up the middle, especially if the field was wet. I had a business meeting, a luncheon the other day in at Phil's Oyster Bar on Friday afternoon. Got there about 1:30, and among the people who went by, and luckily never noticed me because it was an important meeting. I was visiting with these two out of town people. Saw your boy Condon.
Okay.
And his lovely wife, Sue.
Yeah.
Jay Ducote strolled by. And Jay, if you're listening, sorry I didn't say hello. Garrett Graves was there, and he didn't say hello either. But the entire McNeese State basketball team was there in the big room, including Will Wade. They were evidently, they went out of their way to come to Phil's Oyster Bar and have lunch. And then they were going to Southeastern, I believe. They played Saturday night at Southeastern, a Southland Conference. So Will Wade was there, and his team was there, and so it's just funny that you mentioned that.
So really,
yes.
I asked
the
you
answer
a
to your question is yes.
And there was you just wanted to give me a long, meandering story about you seeing them at Phil's on Friday, and not answer my question.
Well, I mean, when would I have seen him? You never finished the question.
I said
but the question is.
No. The question was a very simple one. I said, will Wade be coaching at McNeese beyond this season? That was the question.
Oh, probably not. It's athletic. There's an athletic director somewhere who will take a flyer on him now. If does he have to show cause?
No, he's good.
So he's in the clear. Good.
He's good.
Yeah, I mean, what matters to athletic directors? Winning,
man.
And he's, if he is I don't know, some of the stuff he did, of course, is legal now, so he'd be even better at it than the people who are doing it within the rules. And I don't think anybody ever argued that he was a really good sorry about that, basketball coach.
We'll accept it.
I don't think I get the ding for that, do I?
We got volley. We got half of it out there.
Yeah, no, that was just a slip because I've been working on that all day. But somebody will offer him, and he'll take it, and hopefully he takes good advantage of it and it capitalizes on it and does well. And there's no reason to think he wouldn't.
Okay. The only reason I asked you is because Will Wade agreed to a contract extension today with McNeese. But I don't think he'll coach any years of that contract extension. I think he'll be gone after this.
Let me ask you this. In the grand scheme of contracts and the buyouts that there might be, what could it possibly be at McNeese? It can't be very much.
It's $1.25 million and then $1 million after that. So yeah, I mean, any program that wants Will Wade will pay the $1.25 million to get him out of that deal after this year if they want him. All right, real quick, because I know we're short on time. Are you ready to give, with 10 games remaining, an LSU basketball win total projection in league play? 10 games to go. They're 4-4. Where do they finish?
8-10.
I would take 8-10. Okay, I'll take it. That'll get him It should get him in the NIT if they finish 8-10. And you know what, Lee? Every one of those game days.
I know it.
As we march toward the NIT, and on Sunday when we're watching the Super Bowl, you, me, everyone will be cracking open an ice cold beer.
What is the malted liquor? What gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, beer. But I'd rather chug it. Beer. Got my belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. Beer. I could really use it. Beer. Beer.
Take it away.
Well, one thing that's great about living here, Matt, is that if we have winter, it doesn't last long. We'll probably have cold spells again, but for today, doesn't today feel like a nice spring day with summer on the horizon?
It's gorgeous.
And what a beer. Strawberry Canebrake. Now, you know Canebrake from Parish Brewing.
Yes.
Wonderful beer. But the Strawberry Canebrake in their notes is simply our classic. Original Canebrake with loads of strawberries added, gently tangy, from the real strawberry puree, not overly sweet and medium in body, drinks fruitier than regular Canebrake, and pairs perfectly with springtime. And there you go. It's a wheat ale. It's 5%.
Nice. Okay.
It's wonderful. And on a day like today, what could be better than sitting outside and quaffing a strawberry Canebrake? All of which brought to you in just enough time to get me out of here before the commercial break. Your next guest. And please watch the final version of this week's show, which was my compilation of Nick Saban highlights from when he was on the old Sports Monday from 2000 to 2004. It was hard to do. It was really fun, and I'll put it on YouTube after this week.
So it's all on YouTube at Sports 225 on YouTube, correct?
Yeah, not yet. I haven't put it up yet, but there's another airing today. I think it's tomorrow on Cox 4.
Got it. Okay, so then after it airs on Cox 4, then you'll put the Nick Saban compilation on YouTube.
Correct.
Okay, so go to Sports 225 on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, so when that's posted, you'll be notified when it's posted. He is Larry Feinstein, and always good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us on Tuesday. Cheers, Larry. We appreciate
it. Goodbye, Matt.
When Lee gets to the point where he says, you know what, screw it. Just whatever. All right, Scott Shanley's next. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Great to have Michaela Williams in studio with us yesterday, if you missed it. LSU freshman Michaela Williams on the women's basketball team. What a fun conversation that was with her. If you missed it, you can catch that conversation. But really, so many great conversations you can get at GordonGives.com. If you go to GordonGives.com, that's the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And you can see everything that they do through the G Team. So you can see all the members of the G Team. You could see the Grubbin' with G episodes. You can see the Riding with G episodes where Gordon's riding around with different members of the G Team. The first, of course, was Kim Mulkey. Hey, look, Gordon for 3 decades has done amazing work in our community, but he's also helped injured people. So if you've been injured, you need representation, you know what to do. Go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon. Get it done.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart...
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. She's always staring at me.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Great time, man. Best time to start thinking about spring. The best discounts of the year. Tractors, lawnmowers, gators, they're all there at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sunequip.com. All right, y'all, it is Super Bowl week, and we're going to talk to plenty of you guys this week who have played in, coached in, won, lost Super Bowls, and excited to talk to former Saints Scott Shanle, of course, part of the 2009 Super Bowl championship team with the New Orleans Saints. Has been a great friend of ours on the show for a lot of years. Scott, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing good.
How fresh is it in your mind when you think back to Super Bowl week in, I guess, into January and February of 2010?
Oh, it's extremely fresh. I was just talking about that the other day with somebody about how it certainly doesn't feel like it's been almost 15 years. I mean, we're at year 14, and it feels like it was last year. It really does. And I think probably because that moment was so special and just the feeling that you got from that moment, it was just seared into your brain. And that's a good thing because you wish you could bottle that feeling up and just kind of open the top of the bottle and take a sip of it every now and then because there was nothing like it. And I think for those reasons, it just seems like it was yesterday. It really does.
When you watch teams, like so on Monday when the Chiefs and the Niners both arrive in Las Vegas, like, can you tell, or Sunday, I guess, like, can you tell how they're handling it, having gone through it before?
I think, it's difficult because I was fortunate enough to be with one team who made the Super Bowl. And so that team I was on, that team was a unique team. Probably not the most talented Saints team I was on. I think you can make the argument that 2011, we were probably more talented, better football players, but when we went down to Miami, it's an easy place, just like Las Vegas, where you can find yourself into trouble if you want to. You can find yourself keeping yourself busy away from football if you want to. And it was a credit to our team. Like, we all said we can go to as many Super Bowls as we want when we're old and retired. Like, this is a business trip. We're going down to win a football game. And the focus of our team was immense. It was incredible. I always told the story about Tracy Porter, how he was a young kid who could have been out in Miami and South Beach. And every time you walk by the meeting room, the kid's in there watching film. And he ended up making the biggest play in the Super Bowl in Saints history. So, it's one of those things where I don't know if I can tell based on what the Chiefs are doing or what the 49ers are doing, because the team I was on was super special as far as the focus we had.
I remember reading Sean Payton's book after that Super Bowl as well, Scott, and he talked about, bringing Ornstein there, who kind of helped with all the accommodations, and the Saints accommodations compared to the Colts accommodations, like, were just so much better for New Orleans. And it just remember, like, hearing those types of stories and how that made the week play out easier for you all. Can you speak to that a little bit, like if that rings a bell?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And another question that I always get is, what are those 2 weeks like leading up to Super Bowl? And Sean did a great job of letting us know. In these 2 weeks, the first week, we're going to go through some walkthroughs in New Orleans, and this is the time where you get all your arrangements handled, the tickets, all the questions your family has for you. Where are we staying? What are we doing? What's the plan? Like, all those questions need to be answered. As soon as we get on the plane to go to Miami to play in a Super Bowl, it's business week. It's Monday. It's Tuesday is going to be the media day, which is normally players' day off, and then it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, normal practice routine. And so we had a great plan as far as that went, and nothing felt out of the ordinary. At times, it's like, man, are we even out of our normal routine? It never felt like that, and that's a credit to Sean and everything he did, and Ornstein being along and setting up the hotel, the meals we had, the game rooms we had, just things that they did that went above and beyond that I think made it feel like home.
Scott Shanle is with us. I want to ask you about two plays in that game in particular. I think every conversation about that Super Bowl 44, people begin with ambush, right? The onside kick to start the second half. Do you remember, because my assumption here is that Sean Payton knew in the locker room, right, we're starting the second half with ambush. Do you remember your reaction whenever he told the team that was going to happen?
Oh, I do. I can go back a step further. We were in practice. We kept working on onside kick. And I remember saying to Sean, I'm like, man, you have no confidence in us. Like, we're not going to need an onside kick. We're going to win this game. Like, joke with him. He looks at me. He's like, no, this isn't for the end of the game. And I was like, okay, all right. And so that's all he said. And then at halftime, early in the game, the way it was going, they had us on our heels quite a bit, and they had a chance to go up 14-0 right out the gate. And I think all the momentum, to Sean's credit, Sean was great at measuring the pulse of a team, knowing what to say, when to say, how to say, all those things. But he had that same pulse for knowing what to do in game. And he felt that momentum swinging to us right into the halftime, going in there for that half hour. And when he told us he was going to come out and run ambush to start the second half, everybody was on board. There was no doubt, because I think, a credit to him, he felt like the momentum was in our favor.
Obviously, it worked out. And the biggest play, as you mentioned, was Tracy Porter's interception. It's funny. We just pulled up a picture of Porter in the end zone, and it's this great end zone shot, and you're running right behind Tracy Porter. Walk me through that play through your eyes.
We had a man-to-man coverage on with a blitz, and Fajita and I it was a cross dog where we're crisscrossing and blitzing, and I think one of us or both of us maybe got a hand on Manning, but got in his face. He was getting rid of the ball quick because of the pressure, and the one thing Greg Williams always did was brought pressure. But all those things aside, it was a huge testament to Tracy. Tracy knew that as a young player, we're bringing pressure. This quarterback's going to have to get rid of it quick. He's not going to have time to double move me, so I may as well jump anything. As soon as I see him break, I'm going to jump it. And it was just a great job, great play call. Great job by Tracy with his film study and knowing exactly what he was going to get, and what he was chopping limbs off the tree as far as I don't have to play anything deep. And as soon as you saw Tracy intercept that ball, it was like there's nobody catching him, and I'm going to sprint as fast as I can to get in this celebration, because it was that feeling of running that 50, 60 yards down the field following Tracy is like, it's like running on air, like you feel weightless, like you're cloud nine. It was unbelievable.
I think everyone in New Orleans and every Saints fan in existence felt that as well as that play was. It was a where were you when moment forever, which is so cool. You just happen to be on the field. Scott Shanley's with us for a couple of more minutes. Hey, real quick, I have two things. One, how has, this might be a little introspective, but how has winning a Super Bowl changed your life?
It's been like, it's hard to wrap that up in just a couple minutes. I mean, every time I do interviews, come on with people in the media, national, local, wherever, you're preceded with Super Bowl champion. And it just changes your life. I mean, you always have that experience, whether it's you go back and look at the pictures, this time of year especially, when they're showing all the past Super Bowls, when the networks are showing previous Super Bowl winners and their stories, and the iconic picture of Drew with his son and Coach Payton on people's shoulders, pumping his fist with that trophy. It's just like, you dream forever to be a part of that. When you're a young kid and you're working to try to play college football, and then you're trying to get to the NFL, and you're just hopeful to stick around the NFL long enough to do something like that. And then I think finally to do it with the type of players and the guys we did it with, it was just such a special group of people. And then to do it for a city, a state, and a region that nobody else would have appreciated it the way New Orleans, Louisiana, and the Gulf region appreciate a Super Bowl. So I think because of that, it's changed my life even more so than had I won a Super Bowl in Dallas or wherever.
Great perspective as always, man. Hey, before you go, do you have a feeling on Sunday with the Niners and Chiefs?
Yeah, it's interesting because I could have swore Baltimore would beat the Chiefs. I liked Baltimore, but the Chiefs, their defense is just playing so good right now. The 49ers have not impressed me a whole lot. The 49ers, we kind of have this image in our head that they control the line of scrimmage, but they really don't. And Detroit got after them a lot, and I really think it's hard to go against Mahomes. I would go Kansas City if somebody made me pick a team. I just hope for a great game, but it's hard to go against Mahomes, Kelsey, and that defense.
He is Scott Shanle. He is Super Bowl champion, Scott Shanle. Always good enough to give us a couple of minutes of his time, man. Thanks for the visit as always. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, man. Be well. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You know where to find them. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters as well. You need those indoor shutters. Why would you get them anywhere other than the place that's going to do custom windows for you? They'll do custom shutters. It's Relief Windows. You want wood windows that come with a lifetime warranty. Maybe your HOA requires wood windows. Instead of replacing them every 5-7 years, How about install them once and be done forever? It's not a punchline. It's Relief Windows, where you get the best quality product, the absolute best customer service. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. Thanks to Scott Shanle for joining us. Shea Dixon was here earlier this hour. If you missed it, you can catch it on demand at 1045ESPN.com. Search After Further Review on your favorite podcast app or the After Further Review YouTube channels. Please subscribe up there. We will, in about 15 minutes, Jameis Winston gave an interview with Barstool where he talked about his potential free agent destinations. So we'll get to that here in about 15 minutes from right now. Ton to do in Hour 3. When we come back, Muse will have Tigers and the Pros. We're glad to have you with us. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Action Industries, an official partner of LSU Athletics. Action Industries since 1982. 41 years. Action Industries serving and servicing all of the plants up and down the Mississippi River that are such a crucial part of our state's economy. And everyone knows who works in or around plants, there are two things that are musts: safety and quality. You can't get in one of those plants to do work if you don't have a great safety record, and you're certainly not going to retain clients if you don't do quality work. With Action Industries, their safety record and their quality beats the industry average. It's Action Industries. And Action Industries, a great partner of LSU Athletics. This year, out at the box, the defending champs, when you see mound visits for either team, those mound visits all season long out at the box are going to be presented by Action Industries. So when Tommy White and the gang are bludgeoning opposing pitchers, those mound visits will be brought to you by Action Industries.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. She's always standing
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Your national champion LSU Tigers open the 2024 season Friday, February 16th, and we'll be broadcasting live from the box. From 7 to 10, off the bench, we'll be live from Championship Plaza. Then join Hunt for a special edition of the Hunt Palmer Show from noon to 2. Come out to Fan Fest, presented by Coca-Cola at noon, and stay to welcome the Tigers as they take the field for the first time this season. It's opening day at the box with 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
One important note there is a lineup change for opening day. So Hunt's going to go noon to 2. I understand for everybody that's listening outside of Baton Rouge, this might not necessarily be relevant. So Hunt is usually on from 1 to 3, leading up to AFR. Well, he'll move up. So I will start at 2 o'clock. So thanks, Jay Johnson. I get another hour of work on a Friday, thanks to you.
Companion show.
No.
Why not?
We can't do companion shows
All
because we're a network affiliate. They won't let us talk about the game during the game. So I get to be on air for 4 hours talking about anything other than the thing everybody's going to care about in that moment. Not a lot of fun. But yeah, anyway, so yes, opening day will be great, though. Off the bench will be out there at the box from 7 to 10. Hunt will be there from noon to 2, leading you right at first pitch. And then we'll do a 4-hour show from 2 to 6 on Friday opening day. So hopefully the game ends at some point while we're on the air. Hopefully they just mow them down. It's a 2-hour game, and we basically get to do a post-game there for the end. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Real quick, I'm used to do Tigers in the Pros. I was literally just in the break checking our HUDCO text line, and Joe Morales with HUDCO said, hey, all of our crews, well, we have crews in on the North Shore today, said Hammond, Mandeville, Covington apparently got, at some point here recently, or maybe today, I don't know, but got a whole bunch of hail. So they saw a lot of hail damage along the I-12 corridor. So if that's you and you have or might have had hail, neighbor has hail, we can come give you a free no-obligation roofing inspection at HUDCO, our crews, and we have professionals on staff that all they do is communicate with your insurance company to get your claim approved. So let us help. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. It starts with that call, or go to the website. Just fill out the form online. We'll be in touch to get that inspection set up. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Okay, Muse, Tigers in the Pro.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, a basketball exclusive. Tigers in the Pros today. We'll start with a stuffed stat sheet from Cam Thomas last night, and the Nets lost to the Warriors. 18 points for Cam. Majority of that coming at the free throw line. He put up 21 shots from the field, only made 4 of them, but was 10 of 11 from the line. To go along with the 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Trendon Watford did not play in the game last night due to coach's decision, and of course Ben Simmons was out with injury. On that same note, the Nets are back on the floor tonight, second half of a back-to-back, and Ben Simmons is off of the injury report, so he is expected to play. Makes sense. Back-to-back, they're easing him back in off the back injury. So that's actually what the designation was yesterday. We told you that. Back injury maintenance. So Ben Simmons should be back out on the floor tonight for the Brooklyn Nets. Also tonight in the NBA, the Houston Rockets are facing the Indiana Pacers, and they will once again be without Tari Eason. Lower leg injury. He has been ruled out. It's getting kind of like, hey, are you telling the truth? Is he actually really out there and getting closer to return? He's been at practice, going through a light load, and they keep saying he's expected back soon, but still no Tari Eason for the Rockets. Disappointing. He had a great rookie season, and this year it's just been a really tough go with a lot of injuries. He actually first sustained a leg injury in their preseason game back in October against these very Indiana Pacers. Chinese Basketball Association, Antonio Blakeney scored a bunch of points again, 39 of them to be exact. His team got a 12-point win in the same, but a double-double, almost a triple-double. 39 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists for Antonio Blakeney in his most recent game. That is Tigers and Pros.
Tigers and the Pros, presented by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. My goodness, y'all, all the great German engineering without the cost and manufactured right here in the US of A at their Tennessee plant. Right there in Chattanooga, Tennessee. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, we were making the trip up to the Smoky Mountains, and you can't miss it. It's like right on the interstate as you're going through Chattanooga. You can't miss it. Anyway, you get the great German engineering, all the style, the feel, the performance of luxury, the great safety features, low cost, manufactured in the USA, and South Point is Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They're the best. SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay. Are the Saints going to Germany? Is Jameis Winston leaving New Orleans? We have some thoughts on both of those when we come back right after SportsCenter. Don't move.
AFR.
All right, y'all, we are putting a button here on hour number 2, and I always love telling you about Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. You know where to find them. Go to the website at ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills is the best, and they've been doing it for more than 50 years, since 1968 when they opened their doors, and they always find ways to get you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. Like right now, if you look at their promotions, go to the website, ShawBillsTire.com, hit the promotions tab right at the top. You get up to $180 off a set of 4 new Select Bridgestone tires instantly. Also, get up to $170 off a brand new set of 4 Firestone tires. And if you buy the tires, spend more than $500 on your Shaw Bills credit card, you get another $30 mail-in rebate. My point is, they're always going to find ways to get you the best tires for the cheapest price possible. It's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The 76ers will be without star center Joel Embiid at least the next 4 weeks as he recovers from a procedure on his left meniscus injury. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting the belief in Philadelphia does remain that the door is not closed on a possible return in the regular season for the reigning NBA MVP. With Thursday's NBA trade deadline looming, LeBron James says questions whether the Lakers need changes in order to compete for a title are not for him. LA, though, does have a wish list, notes ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They need a guy who can maybe defend and shoot in the perimeter. By the way, half the NBA is looking for that type of player. What do they have to do to get that player? They have one first-round pick that they can trade in 2029. LeBron will be retired, I think. AD past his prime. They got to be real careful giving away that pick unprotected.
Lakers currently 9th in the West. Lefty Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers agreed on a new one-year contract. He is out at least the first half of the baseball season, recovering from shoulder surgery. Blackhawks host the Blues in the 2025 NHL Winter Classic at Wrigley Field.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, making it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tumpley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. We got a lot to do here in the 5 o'clock hour. Are we good there? Are we good? Could you? Well, I was playing it in the break. Okay, don't worry about it. We'll play it on that end. Don't worry. All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. I want to talk about 15 minutes. There was something I wanted to talk about last week that shows got away and never got to it. It was the story of Jeff Hafley, who's leaving Boston College to go be the Packers defensive coordinator. It's not that. I don't think anybody here cares about the Boston College coach or the Packers DC. It's more about this idea that college coaches are leaving college football because of NIL and the portal and all that stuff. And I think it's a total fallacy. I don't want to talk about it in about 15 minutes from right now. The Saints are heading into their offseason, and there's really two names that everybody's talking about with respect to free agency. It's Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston. If you weren't here at the start of the show, we talked about Michael Thomas a little further because Derek Carr went on a podcast and kind of responded to Michael Thomas's criticism on Twitter, and Derek Carr didn't really hold back. He actually did exactly what Derek Carr does. He veiled his criticism with compliments, but they ended up being backhanded compliments because of the way Carr then wiped away all the goodwill with his criticism of Michael Thomas. So I think everyone understands and agrees that for all intents and purposes, Michael Thomas's time as a New Orleans Saint is done. It's hard to imagine a path forward with the last 4 years going the way they have with his injury history. As I said, Thomas has as many years as a productive receiver as he does as an injury-prone locker room cancer. He was productive for 4 years. In the last 4 years, he's been non-existent. So Michael Thomas is one, but I think we know how it's going to go. And the other is Jameis. And Jameis is a free agent, and he's part of a very interesting free agent class this year, where it's Jameis, it's Baker Mayfield, who I think a lot of people think is going to end up back in Tampa, and then Kirk Cousins, who's a free agent in Minnesota, who we'll see where he lands. But Jameis was a guest on Pardon My Take at Barstool, and the way you'll hear this interaction, the way they kind of phrased the question was, if you could live anywhere, where would you want to live? And they threw out Seattle, Atlanta, D.C., Foxborough, Denver. And obviously those are 4 spots or 5 spots that could be looking for quarterbacks with the Seahawks, the Falcons, the Commanders, the Patriots, the Broncos, which is where Sean Payton is, who brought Jameis to New Orleans 4 years ago. Anyway, this runs about a minute or so. Well, it's about a minute or so, and you'll hear Jameis talk about the place where he may want to end up in free agency, and I don't think Saints fans are going to like this.
We play this game with everybody that comes on the show. I've got 4 cities, just random cities, and you tell me which one you like the best, which one you could maybe see yourself living in. Seattle, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and Foxborough, Massachusetts. Just 4 random cities. Random cities.
Totally random.
Which one of those cities?
They sound random.
Yeah, they're very random.
Oh, and Denver.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that one.
Yeah. Random.
Anyone that accepts me.
Yeah.
But I would just say this. Atlanta, I grew up an hour and a half from Atlanta. Like, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I think that would be a beautiful time for just my family. That would be beautiful. But I feel like I'm the attraction. I'm the thing. Like, I'm the city that is going to bring joy, love, trust, peace, integrity to any location that I'm at, because I'm a man of increase.
Yes,
right.
Like
so,
that.
I am the city.
Yes.
So that's powerful.
It really is. It really is. So wherever it may be, that city is going to be getting someone that is ready.
Yeah.
A kingdom man that is prepared to grow everyone around them.
So Jameis at Atlanta, and not necessarily the Falcons organization, but because he's from nearby and it would be good for his family. And I think most people could respect that. And look, if Jameis ends up in Atlanta, and I don't know what's going to happen with Atlanta, I think what I'm confident in saying, I think we would all agree, is that Desmond Ridder isn't going to be the franchise quarterback for the Falcons, right? I think we all understand and agree on that front. So do they trade for Justin Fields? Do they draft a quarterback? Do they sign Jameis and draft a quarterback? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the Falcons. And it would suck because Jameis is a really good locker room guy. Do you remember Jimmy Graham's tweet? The Saints played the Falcons. I mean, incidentally, all the hullabaloo about the Week 18 game where Jameis went and scored against the Falcons. It called his own play sort of deal. Well, Jimmy Graham went on Twitter after all that criticism and said, get off of Jameis's back. This man is the best teammate I've ever had. Loves this city, this game, embodies everything you can ask for in a leader. Was a rare situation. We all take responsibility, etc. But anyway, the point was Jimmy Graham said point blank, Jameis is the best teammate I've ever had. Like, bar none, no qualifiers. Best teammate I've ever had. But the reality is Jameis isn't an elite quarterback. And I don't care if he goes to the Falcons. As a matter of fact, I hope he goes to the Falcons. I mean, I'd love to see him in New Orleans because he's a great locker room guy. I think he's a really good number 2, a guy who started a bunch of games in his career and won games. And I think given the fact that he was a former number 1 overall pick and athletic, is really gifted and has started a bunch and had a lot of experience, makes for a really good backup quarterback because in a pinch, you could play him for a week or 2 weeks or 5 weeks and the wheels don't fall off because he's been a starter. But do I think he's going to be a franchise quarterback? No. And I was hopeful that it would work out when the Saints signed him. I mean, I was one of the ones that stumped for it. Like the minute Tampa cut him, I was all on board, probably the first one on board. A lot of you laughed at me because all you could do is make interception and crab leg jokes. But all the reasons that it made sense back then still held true. He was athletically gifted. faced adversity for the first time in his life. He came to New Orleans, sat under Drew Brees, learned, had a great offensive mind in Sean Payton calling plays. Like, all the reasons it made sense, right? And it just didn't work. It hasn't worked for a lot of reasons. Maybe if Devin White doesn't horse collar him on Halloween and Jameis tears his ACL, maybe it's different. I mean, the Saints were 5-2 at that point. Maybe it goes a completely different route. But it didn't. He had to come off the ACL. Then he got injured at the start of the following season, and Andy Dalton took over, and Peyton was gone, and we know the route that it's gone. But Jameis didn't go. If he leaves and goes to Atlanta, he's not going to be their franchise quarterback leading them to championships. So if he goes to Atlanta, it would suck to see him in a Falcons uniform. It would suck because he's a good locker room guy, and he's loved New Orleans, and he's been a good backup. But I don't think of Jameis leaving and going to the Atlanta is like some devastating loss. Like, you'd be losing this great player that's going to your rival to win games for him. And for whatever it's worth, if you look at the the free agent quarterbacks in this class that I mentioned, Cousins, Jameis, Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins is 72-63-2 in his career. Jameis is 34-46 as a starter. Baker's 31-38. You don't need to remember that, but just understand, Jameis and Baker have combined to win 65 games as a starter. Jameis Winston, Baker Mayfield combined have won 65 games. Kirk Cousins has won 72. 72-63-2. I'm not sitting there trying to tell you that means you should go for broke and make Kirk Cousins your franchise or any of that sort of stuff. What I'm telling you is, whatever you think of Kirk Cousins, he's had a better career than Jameis and Baker combined. So the emotional part of potentially seeing Jameis leave stinks, but competitively, if he goes to Atlanta, he goes to Atlanta. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020. Set up that free consultation. 924-2020. Or go to williamsoneye.com. Of course, I've told you my experience with the Williamson Eye Center. Jimmy Ott, also a Williamson Eye Center patient. And Jimmy could see this one from a mile away. He just sent us this Otter Lock 5:30 tip. South Carolina laying the 3. Otter was 3-0 last night on his picks. You want to know why? Because he's got 20/20 vision thanks to the Williamson Eye Center. He could see those winning plays before they even happened thanks to the Williamson Eye Center. Just go for that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. No matter your age or your refractive issue, if you want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses, the Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to williamsoneye.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com for the Williamson Eye Center. So Otter given an early play, as we just mentioned there. So South Carolina at home, laying 3 against Ole Miss. So if you want to get in on the action, you could do that. I'm looking to see if there's any boost on the DraftKings Sportsbook tonight. I'm not seeing any right away. All right. So anyway, 5:30 tip for South Carolina and Ole Miss. Like South Carolina laying the 3 at home against the Rebs. If you want to get in on that, we'll get the rest of Jimmy's picks here in about half an hour from right now. One other quick Saints note worth keeping an eye on. The NFL has announced where the international series games will be played and who the home teams will be. There's only one of them that's relevant for New Orleans, and that's Carolina, because Carolina is hosting one of the international series games in Munich, Germany this coming season. And the Saints, of course, do play at Carolina. So there's a possibility that the Saints could play the Panthers in Germany. Now, the Saints will not have to give up a home game for an international series game until at least 2030. So the only way the Saints could play an international series game this year is if their game against Carolina is played in Germany. We won't know that until the schedule release in May, unless it gets leaked earlier. I'll remind you that German tabloids last year leaked that the Saints-Patriots game was going to be in Germany. We did a whole bit about me going to do AFR in Germany. Remember that? I was like, yeah, I'm going to Germany. I'll go. Gordy, I'm going to Germany. And then that obviously didn't happen. They were wrong. So we'll wait and see if the Saints, but for what it's worth, there's only been 6 times. The international series has been played since 2007. There have been 43 games played abroad. Only 6 have been divisional matchups. So the odds are against the Saints playing Carolina in Munich, but it's a possibility, and we won't know until the schedule's released. I'll fall on the sword again. I'll offer up my services. So if the Saints end up drawing the short straw and have to go play the Panthers in Germany, I'll go.
And now you're program director. You don't really have to rely on Gordy for that now.
Now, I mean, there are still expenses, Muse, and expenses still have to be approved. I can determine who from our staff goes, and yes, I will volunteer myself to look. I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything I wouldn't be willing to do myself, Muse. That's the sign of a good leader. You never ask anyone to do something you're not willing to do. So I'll do it. I'll go fly halfway across the world to go cover a football game. If the Saints end up playing in Munich, I'll volunteer myself. You all can stay back with your families. I'll go on the front lines of this one, Muse. I'll take it.
Noble.
Lead by example. It's what I was always told, Muse. Lead by example. Okay, it's after further review.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Hey, remember, we are 1 week away from Mardi Gras. 1 week from today is Mardi Gras Day. If you have not gotten your king cakes, you are running out of time. So go to Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. On the homepage, you'll see the king cake link on the banner, the flipper, right there on the homepage. And click it, choose whatever king cake you want. Plain cinnamon, like I like, or whatever gourmet king cake you want, and they'll ship them anywhere in the country or the world for your family, your friends. You want to give everybody out of town a little taste of carnival. Our friends at Rouse's can help. 69 Rouse's locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between. If you're going to be on that parade route, you need party trays and tons of food for everybody, Rouse's can help you there as well. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best.
She's always staring at me while I'm chugging along. She likes the way.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Yesterday, we told you about Durante Jones interviewing with the Giants for their DC job. How about another former LSU defensive coordinator making a move? Doug Mallory is being hired by the Baltimore Ravens as their new defensive backs coach. He was an analyst last year at Michigan, so was on Michigan's national championship winning staff. You might remember Doug Mallory was an assistant on LSU's national championship in 2007. And then Mallory and Pivito were elevated to co-defensive coordinators in 2008. It was a disaster. They both got fired. Mallory went to New Mexico, and he's kind of had this long sojourn since. But in any event, so Monday we learned about Durante Jones, new spot, potentially. Tuesday, Doug Mallory to the Ravens. Wednesday, who we can learn about tomorrow, Muse? Got any update on John Chavis? We're going to get that tomorrow?
Chief, yeah.
Find out what's up with the Chief. Kevin Steele? What's he doing in retirement?
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
it's coming out. So is John Chavis.
Yeah.
Coming out of retirement.
Jimbo's a former LSU assistant, technically.
Defensive coordinators.
Oh, defensive coordinators only. Sorry, I missed that part.
Will
Muschamp.
Anybody got an update on Lou Tepper?
Ooh.
Got to be pushing 80. What's Lou Tepper doing now? Please Google it. Find out what Lou Tepper's doing. Curious. Hopefully he's enjoying life, whatever he's doing. Writing the sequel to The Drop Linebacker, Part D, the Thomas Dunson experiment. Some of you get it. Anything?
No, he's 78. I got that for you.
That's pushing 80.
Yeah, there you go, man.
There it is. 78. Lou Tepper. There he is. Hope he's doing well, though. Hope he's doing well. Hey, there was a story last week, and I wanted to talk about this last week, but we got to the end of the week and just I forget why or what happened. You know what it was? I think it was Thursday, and we had Keelan Moses in studio, and that was awesome. But I'd intended to talk about this last week, but it got bumped. And I wanted to circle back to it, not necessarily because of the news, but because of a lot of the inferences people are making as a result of the news. So the news was that Boston College head coach Jeff Hafley left Boston College to be the Packers defensive coordinator. Pete Thamel, do you have that audio? So this was Pete Thamel on ESPN reporting why Hafley left a head coaching job in the Power 5 to be an NFL defensive coordinator.
Boston College head coach Jeff Hafley is leaving the Eagles and is expected to become the next defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. For Hafley, sources told ESPN that the move came down to a desire to just coach football again. His move is a bit of an indictment on college coaching right now, which is so driven by fundraising and NIL that it eliminates, in many ways, the actual football coaching for the college head coaches. So Boston College has an opening, the only opening right now of the 130-plus jobs in FBS football.
So that was a report from Thamel saying Hafley's leaving basically as of NIL and transfer portal, just wants to coach football. Well, Football Scoop, the guys were at the Senior Bowl and debunked that report from Pete Thamel, saying this was from February 1st. At the Senior Bowl last night, many of the coaches I spoke with felt this had less to do with NIL and immediate transferring, but more about results and contractual status. Let me explain. Jeff Hafley, Boston College head football coach Jeff Hafley, in 2023 made $400,000. I'm not trying to sneeze on making $400K. That would put you in the top 1% of earners in our country. That's a significant amount of money. Relative to Power 5 head football coaches, that's a pimple on a bee's ass. Jeff Hafley was making $400K. Let me give you some context. Jake Olson. Jake Olson just came over from Missouri to join the LSU staff as safeties coach. This is his first on-field Power 5 job. Jake Olson this year is making $350K, and next year will make $400K. A safeties coach with his first on-field Power 5 gig is making the same amount that Jeff Hafley, a Power 5 head coach, was making at Boston College. Jeff Hafley didn't leave because of NIL in the transfer portal. He left because Boston College wasn't paying him nothing. He got to leave all the stress of being a head coach alone, go to one of the most prestigious organizations ever, and probably tripled his salary. That's an easy decision. The other thing that you hear people say, and it was in this report from ESPN, about the 3 sitting head coaches this year that left for coordinator jobs. Well, one of them, I just told you, was Jeff Hafley, who was making $400K and left for a job with the Green Bay Packers. Another was Kane Womack. Kane Womack was the defensive coordinator at South Alabama and left to be the Kane Womack, forgive me, was the head coach at South Alabama and left to be the defensive coordinator at Alabama. Kane Womack was making $810K as the head coach at South Alabama. He's making a reported $2 million to be Alabama's defensive coordinator. Let me ask you, what is a greater accelerant for your career? Being the head coach at South Alabama making $800K or making $2 million to be the defensive coordinator at the University of Alabama? This isn't hard. Guys aren't leaving sitting head coaching jobs in college football for coordinator positions because they're tired of NIL and transfer portal. They're leaving. The context matters. They're leaving their jobs because they're leaving for better jobs on bigger stages that are paying them more money. Good for Football Scoop. And I don't know who, I don't mean for this to be like just a crack on Pete Thamel, and I don't know who his source is or anything along those lines. But it's also disingenuous and not telling the whole story to omit those details of why a sitting head coach might leave their spot. Because clearly there's more to the story. I mean, if I asked you point blank, would you rather be the head coach at Boston College making $400K or the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers making triple or quadruple that number? That's an easy answer. That's an easy answer. Frank Wilson was a head coach at McNeese, left to be the running backs coach at LSU, where he doubled or quadrupled his salary. It ain't actually that hard to figure out why these coaches are making these decisions. It's easy and somewhat lazy to just assume it's NIL and portal because of the perception surrounding those things. And because of the Thamel report, SVP did his one big thing about how unsustainable college football is. But again, you've only got half the story there. And I don't even think it's the correct half of the story. Why not go ask Jeff Hafley why he left? All right. It's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking about buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. The first option for farmers in agriculture is First South Farm Credit. It's been that way since 1916. More than 100 years, First South Farm Credit has been your first option for land. You want to buy that recreational property? Look, I mean, it's that time of year where a lot of you who have a hunting lease, you realize, man, I am tired of sharing this lease with somebody else or with other people. You want your own piece of property. First South Farm Credit can make it happen. 44 branches across 3 states, and they can help you finance land in any of the contiguous 48. So if you're trying to finance land in Louisiana or a hunting property in Mississippi or farmland in Alabama or whatever it may be, hunting property in Texas, big piece of land in Montana, they can help you. First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Again, firstsouthland.com for First South Farm Credit. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Otter here in 15 minutes. Again, if you're just joining us and missed it, Otter did give us an early pick. He's got South Carolina laying the 3. Otter, a 3-0 night last night. Bang, bang, boom. How about it? Way to get on the winning track. Good way to start the week for Jimmy Ott. So we'll see what else the Otter has. But again, South Carolina and Ole Miss tipping right now. We are on South Carolina laying the 3 if you're interested in playing along on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay, well, now I got a quick break. Come back. Speaking of wagering, some of the projected wagering statistics for Super Bowl 58 are mind-boggling. Also, Roger Goodell, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Kyle Shanahan, all gearing up for Super Bowl 58. The headlines that you need to know from out in Las Vegas will get you caught up when we return. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Also, real quick, LSU just moments ago released information about LSU spring football. So we'll give you that as well when we come back right after the break. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. LPT is an acronym which stands for Listing Power Tools. So when you hire Darren James, not only are you getting quite literally the best realtor in the state of Louisiana, objectively, number 54 in the country on the Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list, but you're also getting all of the benefits of LPT Realty, all of the collaboration, all of the marketing to get more eyeballs onto your listing, your home, to get your home sold faster for more money. As a matter of fact, just saw this one 5 hours ago, another beautiful home listed by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty in Prairieville. What a gorgeous home. You go click the link, check out their Facebook page, go to agent225.com, agent225.com. If you're thinking about selling your home, you need the best, you need results, you need Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it every
Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Plowing these fields in the hot summer sun, over by the gate, Lordy, here.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Muse, you found a banger.
It's a good one. Yeah, I figured you'd like this one right here.
Oh!
Catchy, man. It's going to get stuck in your head. You got to watch out.
Wow. Put a little star next to this one, Muse.
I will.
I think you might have to bring this one back at some point.
Love to do that. I'm telling you.
Let me hear a little bit more of that. Do all country songs sound like this now? This is that new country?
No, this is actually much older. Yeah, this is an older song. Yeah. 100%.
I don't believe you.
No, it is.
No, I've never heard it. Got to be brand new.
No, it's not.
Did this drop today?
Did not.
Is it in the top? Is it charting today?
No.
Well, it should be. If this ain't charting, then I'm not interested in any of the country charts, Muse. What is this?
She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy by Kenny Chesney.
It's appropriate because today is powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I would assume there, young Muse, that what's the singer's name again?
This is Kenny Chesney.
That when Mr. Kenny Chesney is riding his sexy tractor, I bet that's a green tractor.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the video right now. There's a John Deere right behind him. Right behind him.
No doubt. Smart man. Hey, you're going to be going to a lot of Mardi Gras parades here in the next week or so? Just say yes.
Yeah,
Muse.
sure.
Dog. Well, whenever you see those floats being pulled up and down the street, guess what's going to be pulling those floats up and down the street?
John Deere tractor.
You darn right. Woo! Yeah, Muse. File that one away. We'll come back to that one eventually. Right. Eventually, we'll get back to it. Okay. Hey, the Super Bowl is on Sunday. Not sure if you heard, but Americans, according to the American Gaming Association, expected to bet $23.1 billion on the Super Bowl. So, for context, that's 67.8 million adults. 26% of the adult population is expected to wager on the Super Bowl. Now, that could be at a sports book, on a mobile betting site, office pools, anything like that. And this is significantly up from last year's survey. And a big part of it, obviously, is you got 38 states now that offer regulated betting. And because it's never been easier for people to sports bet, and certainly a lot of the stigma is off of it, and you have bettors that are becoming more educated and informed. And listen, I'm preaching to the choir here. I mean, you're listening to Sports Talk Radio. Just by nature of the fact that you're listening to this show or watching this show, you're a more informed fan. You just are. Like some people go to the games or watch. When you take it a step beyond that and you continue to follow your team and the content beyond just the games themselves, you're you care more deeply enough to do this. So I don't think that this is any surprise, and I would assume that the overwhelming majority of the people listening are going to find a way, some way, to wager on the Super Bowl. So 26% of American adults expected to wager on Super Bowl 58 this weekend. So we keep telling you, of course, our friends over at DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 58. Highly recommend. Download that DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Always got great deals, and they've been a great partner of ours, so we appreciate our friends over at DraftKings. The LSU football program has announced their spring football dates. So mark it down, and it's going to be a really interesting spring. But LSU's announced spring dates, so they'll start on March the 5th. So a little less than a month away now. Yesterday, 1 month from yesterday, the start of spring football. So they've got all their dates, the 5th, 7th, 8th, 19th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 26th, 28th, and 6 dates in April as well. Spring game on April 13th. So again, mark it down. Spring starts on March the 5th, and then the spring game is April the 13th. We will talk much more about spring football as we get closer to it, and we'll obviously have our spring practice reports and bring you through it and everything. But I think just to, if I could bridge from bowl practice to now, remember, one of the things we talked about during the 15 bowl practices was Jaden Daniels opting out and why it was so important. And while, yes, selfishly, we all wanted Jaden to play in that bowl game, it was so much more important for this program and for Garrett Nussmeier for Jaden to opt out. Remember, it wasn't just the bowl game itself. It's the 15 practices. That was 15 practices where Garrett Nussmeier strapped on his helmet and went into the first team huddle every single rep. There was no confusion. There was no ambiguity. There was no question. There was no competition. Garrett Nussmeier's team. And he got to do that for 15 bowl practices and then to go play in a bowl game. And now spring is going to come along, and you're going to get to double that output and do it again. Basically, the bowl practice acted as a preamble to spring, and now you get to do it again. So by the time you get to fall camp, it's not just like, yeah, he got his feet wet in spring, and now we really got to ramp up. It's like you got your feet wet in bowl practice. And now this should feel like coming out of spring, Garrett's team totally comfortable. So you are sprinting whenever fall camp starts. So for me, that's the biggest storyline of spring. It's how much of an accelerant can you put on this offense with Garrett Nussmeier and Joe Sloan calling plays as he did for the bowl game. It's an accelerant of the offense. The other thing, obviously, is what do you do on defense? I mean, you lost your top 3 interior defensive linemen. Omar Spates is gone. And I understand we're all very excited about Whit Weeks, but where and how does Harold Perkins fit into a defense called by Blake Baker? And then who wins jobs in the secondary? At least who positions themselves to win jobs for the start of fall camp coming out of spring? Because I think every job in the secondary is open. I don't think you could legitimately look at any single person in the secondary and say, yep, you've got a job. I mean, Major Burns has played a lot of football. He's back. But I can't tell you definitively I think he should be a starting safety. I mean, Sage Ryan has played nickel and corner. I don't know that I want him starting it either. Maybe he wins a job. Maybe. But I can't say definitively that I would take a Sharpie and scribble anyone's name in the secondary right now as a starter. Not one. Spring will be huge for that. See who at least positions themselves to be a starter for the start of fall camp. So anyway, LSU announced their spring football dates. They'll hit the practice field for the first time on March the 5th, and they'll wrap up with the spring game in Tiger Stadium on April the 13th. Mark it down. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review, brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, with more than 30 locations across 11 different states. If you weigh or measure something, Michelli sells, services, and rents the products you use to weigh and measure. As we always tell you, ISO 17025 accreditation, but they love to do business face-to-face. I can tell you all about their services, their calibrations, all the industries that they serve. But what matters so much at Michelli is they do so much business because customers, maybe of other companies, you didn't feel like you were appreciated. You were dissatisfied. And so you call Michelli, you realize the turnaround time is better. The communication is better. Michelli is the nation's largest distributor of scales. Their corporate office right there in Harahan, but you've got the Baton Rouge lab. You've got 6 locations in Louisiana, 30 from coast to coast. They're big enough to scale to get what you need quickly, but they still love doing business face-to-face. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. That's Michelli.com. All right, y'all. Been a good show, man. We will talk plenty about the Super Bowl as we get through the remainder of this week and get you closer to Super Bowl 58. The one thing that might be a giant storyline is about Andy Reid and if he's going to retire. He was asked that point blank on Monday if he was planning on retiring after the Super Bowl. Here was Andy Reid's answer.
Am I retiring? Listen, my mom and dad told me this when they were working. They said, you'll know when it's time, and I'm ready to go right now. Let's go.
So ready to go, I think he means like ready to go play. So he didn't answer the question. He didn't say no, but he didn't say yes either. But that, I think, is a major storyline. That'll be a major storyline around this Super Bowl. Andy Reid has a chance to become just the 5th coach ever to win 3 Super Bowls. It's only 4 coaches in the history of the NFL have won 3 Super Bowls. Andy Reid could become the 5th on Sunday if they're able to beat the Niners. Okay, let's knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. Don't you move.
AFR.
And of course, if you are looking for a place to watch Super Bowl 58, man, you can always get by Pluckers. Either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery with, of course, 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. Super Bowl Sunday, if you want a place to watch, Pluckers is a great spot. If you're going to have wings at your watch party, get them from Pluckers. I want to remind you, it is so much better to call Pluckers early in the week. You can even do it on Friday. Wait till Friday. But call Pluckers and set your order time, what you want and what time you want to pick it up for Super Bowl Sunday. Don't call them at 4 o'clock on a Sunday and expect to get 200 wings. That's just not going to work. That's why they'll take the pre-orders for Super Bowl. Highly recommend you take advantage of it. It's at Pluckers. Hey, remember, tonight and every Tuesday, Kids Eat Free. Sports trivia at Nicholson starting at 8:30. It's Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Good early start for South Carolina. Otter gave us the early tip. South Carolina laying the 3. A 9:50 to play in the first half. Carolina up 10. It's 27-17 on Ole Miss. All right, a 3-0 night for the Otter last night. What do you do for an encore? How are you, Otter?
Boom. Even better after they just nailed that 3, baby.
Oh, 30-17.
I
baby.
can see that score clear as day, Dr. Blake. Clear as day, baby. You know what I could see for the first 7 minutes of the game, too? Graphic was a little off. They had Ole Miss's conference record at 10-1 and South Carolina's at 12-4. But
yeah, that's not right. That's not right.
Yeah, that's not right. All right, South Carolina. Let's keep it going now. 30-19 right now. Now 14 mark in the first. They know how to win, man. They do a 5 points for home court. They're the better team, and they're laying 3. This is the sharp action move that I faded. I'm sorry. This team is aged, their maturity, and they're not taking anything for granted. And they've already been in 2 tougher spots, following up 2 hangover spots, following Kentucky and Tennessee wins. And they're doing just fine. And the crowd is sold out after sweeping the 2 road games. So I like let's hope this pays off. All right, that BYU, their players, they go on a Mormon mission.
Yeah.
They come back, they're a little bit older. Not quite this long, but they've been away from Provo for a little bit now. They've gone to Morgantown on Saturday, and now they go.
What a transition!
They go to Norman, Oklahoma. So not exactly the Rocky Mountain tour that they used to. I think it's going to wear on them a little bit. Oklahoma has lost 5 of 7. They're a tournament team right now in the toughest conference in basketball. I think this is a little bit more of a desperate team at home. Check and see what you're looking at.
2.
Maybe 1, 1, and 2. Okay. Minus the 2.
All right.
The 2.
Oklahoma laying 2 at home. All right.
Right. And then this, I think, might be the first Mountain West Conference game I've given you. But Utah State is leading the Mountain West Conference. By the way, they're getting 4 teams. Joe Lenardi had to put 5 teams in right now. The Mountain West Conference is a good league. My buddy Matt Humans does a great job covering it. He used to write for the Las Vegas Review Journal, covering the Running Rebels. But anyway, Utah State's in first place. Nevada, Steve Alford's crew, and I think they're pretty good, but they're like in 9th place, okay? 5 points for home court advantage. Our buddy Ricky Bland always said in Logan, Utah, where he coached, always a great home atmosphere. 5.5? There's a half-point difference. There's no way that they're only a half-point better. So just looking for some value here with Utah State at home against Nevada.
All right, we're buying the half point, so we're buying it to 5, correct?
1.5 to 6.5.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So Oklahoma minus the 2, Utah State minus 5. We're already on South Carolina minus the 3. They lead by 10 with about 7 to play in the first half. Anything else we're looking at?
No.
All right.
Do we want to let Hanny play? He gives one that I kind of like. You want to let him play today?
I mean,
He's been a good boy.
You
He has been a good boy.
might as well throw it out there.
Let's give him a little peek behind the curtain. Matt calls me every Monday morning, gets a Hanny report on his conduct. So, because we're out in public and we do the show, and he can't monitor him in the studio. But anyway, so I'm with him. Iowa State covered. They didn't win, but they're getting a little fatigued. It's a tough game against Baylor. They got their lead because Godfrey got tossed for the first time with double technical in the game at Waco Saturday night. Iowa State still covered. Texas is winning. It's playing good, man. They've come a long way since they played LSU in Houston, and they're at home against Iowa State.
Remaining.
They needed a little bit more than Iowa State. I kind of like Texas in that spot with Hanny, man, too. That's a Hanny special now.
All right.
Millennium.
All right. Hanny's giving us Texas laying the 2. All right, Otter's got Oklahoma -2, Utah State -5. Hanny special, Texas laying the 2 at home. Where are you tomorrow?
Remember how bad my picks were before Dr. Blake fixed my eyes?
all I remember is how bad you were when you were in Del Mar.
I just booked my flight, my reservation for this July. So
Well, I
I'll be
guess
going for 2 hours.
we'll enjoy it while we can. Thank you, Otter.
All right, brother. Good luck.
We'll see you. That's Jimmy Otts after further review. Hey, Muse, what did you learn today?
Former LSU defensive assistants in high demand in the NFL.
Yeah, how about that? Just ask me.
Hey, Matt, what'd you learn?
Stanford.
Yeah.
In the class of 2017, had 4 5-stars, couple of offensive linemen, a quarterback, a tight end. How did they win a natty? It's crazy. Muse, Paulie, I appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold.